Hello everybody, my name is Steven Riznyk, and I wanted to have a quick chat with you to consider an option to your divorce. I've been divorced, I know what it's all about. It's not a fun thing. I got lucky, but some people don't. And you want to see what you can do about getting out of a difficult situation as quickly as possible and as inexpensively as possible. The problem we've seen with divorce over the years is this. People get, and I mean really, really emotionally attached. And what happens is the ex-spouse lives in the other person's mind. And I've seen this with some of the girls that I've dated. They just can't let go. And it's day after day after day to the point that it destroys a relationship. So the point is, how do we get out of this rapidly? My solution, for those of you who know me, is negotiation. And I'd like you to consider it. A lot of people go to court, they go to mediation, and some go to negotiation simply because because a lot of people don't know about negotiation. Here's the situation. What negotiation has is a psychological component. For example, we had one case where the man went to a conference and cheated on his wife. Is that the right thing to do? Absolutely not. However, she couldn't forgive him, and understandably so. In our negotiation, we had to understand both parties' positions. When we finally said to the wife, look, we understand he did this and it was wrong. He betrayed you, whatever word you want to use, even though it was a one-night kind of thing. It wasn't a relationship, but still. She felt that he had never made this up to her in the whole relationship. So, and I don't want to throw any numbers out there because I don't want you to get any crazy ideas. We said to her, this caused you a lot of heartache, caused you a lot of pain and suffering. How do we make this up to you? She came up with a number. We turned around, and I felt that number was fair, actually. Talked to our client, and they said, you know what? Give her this. First, take care of this. Get it out of the way. Then let's resolve the other issues. She was happy. She got that number. She did a few things, got it out of her system. The good news is, they're married again. They're happy. She kicked his butt, financially, physically, got it out of her system. That's the difference between negotiation and mediation. Mediation, not a big fan of. A fellow or a gal called a mediator puts you both in separate rooms. Comes in and tries to scare this person, comes in and tries to scare this person. You meet in the middle. My thinking is meeting in the middle, nobody wins. It's a no-win situation. Because somebody loses on one side, somebody loses on the other. At the end of the day, in negotiation, what we do is try and find something fair, but also to resolve the issues that the parties are facing. Because at the end of the day, have a look at the 6-hour program I created, Relationships 901. There's something there that caused the relationship or the negativity to go past the point of no return, and you can't go back. You can't unring a bell. However, at the end of the day, we're all grown-up children. We spend the rest of our lives fixing the problems we had as children, our views of things, how we were treated, how people looked at us, how we wanted to be looked at, everything. We spend a lifetime trying to fix these problems. And if our spouse, somebody that we get naked with, but not just in the physical sense, in every sense, and put our hearts into, try to be a part of, to make everything work. If this person betrays us, it's over. So, there's nothing left. So at the end of the day, we are looking for something to make us feel good, to make us feel right and whole, and also to punish the other partner for whatever they did. Now, sometimes, let me retract. The difference between punishment and forgiving is substantial. You can punish someone and be okay with it. You don't have to forgive them. And you certainly don't have to forget it, because you probably never will unless you have dementia. And even then, you may end up not forgetting it. So it is very critical. And in negotiation, we take a psychological approach to it, in the sense of, not psychological as in pop psych books. We look at the person. This is about you, not about this or that person. It's about you, how you feel, how you see the world, how you feel this marriage went out of the way. If it's two people who simply were incompatible, that's one thing. Let's walk away. Let's minimize the damages. But if it's two people who were compatible and everything went awry, and especially where there are children or animals involved. I know you say, or animals. One of the most expensive cases I ever dealt with had to do with a cat and a house in Monte Carlo. That cat was worth that house. So make no mistake, when I say most expensive, in the sense of what they spent for that cat. So, but children obviously first and foremost, because they're the innocent ones. Well, as are animals, but children need to be taken care of. And also, a lot of people say, well, the marriage broke down, we stayed together for the kids. The kids aren't stupid. They know what's going on. They feel the negativity. They feel the strain. And it's not fair to them. So that's another thing to consider. So at the end of the day, negotiation delves into the many aspects of what's going on, what went on, and how can we resolve it. Good news is, the average family law case can cost you easily $100,000. California. Negotiation, it's a 1 or 2 day affair. It doesn't go on and on and on. We make a decision, we sign the documents, done, goodbye, end of story. And then the greatest benefit you have is not saving $100,000. It's having your peace of mind. Because in half of our negotiation cases, the parties can shake hands and have dinner together and put this behind them. Because life is tough enough and full of challenges enough. And we have enough people out there who want to make our lives miserable. We don't have to complicate it by adding our families into it and making it even harder. So, I'd rather see ex-spouses together and have that teamwork of them against the world, rather than the single ex-spouses trying to put all the world together by themselves or deal with all of the issues, because there's so much to deal with. And being a single parent is hell. There's no other word I can think of. I'm not a single parent, but I've dated a number of girls who are. It's hard. It's difficult. The question is, does the father want more input into the children's lives? You have some fathers who simply don't care, some who don't want to be bothered, some who do care but don't want to deal with the ex-wife. So there are many issues, and in negotiation we really have to know both sides. We have to understand where they're coming from, what's important to them and what isn't important to them. Both of these are equally important, for lack of a better word. And when we understand that, we can truly come to a solution that gets everybody in a position where they can get their peace of mind. Because in today's world, with economic hardships, children and the various demands that are placed on us through that, and various other issues. The last thing we need is lack of peace of mind, because you can't operate when you're stressed out. And that's what negotiation is all about. It's about giving you the peace of mind, saving you a ton of money, which I'd rather see you put in a trust fund for the children's education than to lawyers. But, and yes, we do litigate cases. For those people who say, you know what, I don't want to negotiate. Yeah, we do litigate. So I'm part of that lawyer team. But I'm saying, as lawyers, lawyers want to see people happy, people resolved. Making money over your hardship is not fun. We want to see you resolve the issues. And with negotiation, when I say in 2 days, a lot of people say, yeah, 2 days is impossible. 16 hours is a long time. Ask any doctor, any surgeon, what he or she can do in 16 hours in an operating room. It's a ton of time, if the time is properly spent. But if the time is spent preparing documents, waiting in court for your turn, fighting it out in court, going home after court all upset, seriously, is that a good expenditure of time? No, not in my opinion. So, I wish you all the luck. I hope whatever journey you're on with respect to these challenges works out for you. I know it's a difficult one, but whatever you do, find the right person to help you. Stay away from fighting it all in the courts. Don't fight each other, because one thing you may not realize, the more you fight the other person, the more you're going to have negative feelings towards them, and you're going to associate them with that fight. And who's going to hurt? Both of you will hurt, and the children will hurt. Remember, at one time, you were both in a situation where you couldn't wait to get a phone call from the other person. Remember how opening that door on a Friday night put a big smile on your face? That's what you need to remember. That's that person. Sure, they've evolved, they've grown, they've changed a bit. Still that person. I want you to keep that in mind so that you don't go out and go after each other's throats. It's not what it's about. So, having said that, wishing you all the luck in the world. Hope whatever your challenges are, you can overcome them. Overcome them with working with the other side, not making it worse. You've already had the worst. Let's make that the peak of what worse will ever be, and let's get on to something a lot better, a lot more productive, so that we can all live our lives a little bit happier, because happiness is hard to find. Chase it every second you get. All the best.